I want to talk about goal setting. This is something that I've gone back and forth on over the years. There have been times in my life where I was immensely focused on setting large, ambitious goals and would do everything I could to strive to achieve them. But then as I've matured and grown and read a lot and interviewed many people on my podcast, The Learning Leader Show, I found that maybe setting big goals isn't helpful. James Clear told me when we recorded, focus more on your systems than your goals. Take, for example, a sports team. They all pretty much have the same goal, and that's to win the championship. And yet only one of them does. And so I thought more about that as I'm approaching 2022 and thinking about my goals and what I want to accomplish. And for 2021, I would say the year went incredibly well. I published a podcast episode every Sunday night at 7:00 Eastern, 52 of them to be exact. I published a Mindful Monday email every single Monday morning, no later than 9:15 a.m. Eastern. I had an amazing partnership come about as of June 1st, 2021 with Insight Global. And now I am with them and plan to be for the future. I was able to speak all over the country, crisscrossing back and forth, flying amidst at times a global pandemic. There were brief pockets when things were okay to travel. And so things went incredibly well. And I set 0 goals for 2021. I was really more focused on the process, on execution, on shipping my work regularly to try to add value to the lives of the people who read my work or listen to my podcast. And so this year, though, I am always open to experimentation. I'm always open to trying something that I haven't done in a while. And so I have set some goals for 2022, and I'm sharing them publicly for a couple of reasons. One, I want you to hold me accountable as someone who has interest in the work that I do and hopefully gets value from it. I'd like you to hold me accountable. I'd like you to ask me about them. And two, I think sometimes putting things out into the world gives you a chance for others to help you accomplish them, specifically with something like Dream Podcast Guest, or maybe someone can help out with an introduction. And so if you put it out there publicly, you give yourself a chance for your network to help you. And so without further ado, I'm going to speak my goals. I've also written them out. You can look on my website, learningleader.com, and read all of these as well. But I'm going to share with you the goals that I've set for 2022. Notably, they are mostly aligned with my core values. And my core values are being thoughtful, thankful, curious, and consistent. So here are the goals. And this first one hits the curiosity and consistency goal. And that is publish at least 52 episodes of my podcast, The Learning Leader Show. Now, some would say, well, you've already done that multiple years. I have, but that doesn't mean it's automatic. It doesn't mean it's easy. This is still really challenging and really hard, and you must be consistent and curious in order to do this when publishing with value. So I want to publish at least 52 episodes of my podcast, The Learning Leader Show. Also, I want to publish a Mindful Monday email every single Monday of 2022. That's my goal. Now, again, I have done this more than 290 weeks consecutively. I want to continue that streak. And I list that as a goal because it's hard to be consistent, because it's hard to ship work on a regular basis. Most people quit. I'm going to do everything within my power to continue on with that curiosity and consistency. Two, one of my goals, and this is, I think, something I've really learned as of 2021, I need to make my business less dependent on me. There's only so much time in a day. So for example, somebody asked me to create a leadership development program and then go and teach it to their company, which I do have a few of those clients. There's only so many of those I can do. So I need to do a better job of creating the IP, creating the intellectual property that eventually it can scale by pouring into other leaders who could go out and teach that to companies. So I can't be the only one doing that. And as of today, pretty much my business only involves me teaching it directly to others. And I need to scale in a way to help others teach what I've come up and what I've come up with and what I've learned, teach that to other people. So I need to make my business less dependent on me, meaning I need to be in contact with fantastic leaders, give them the intellectual property I've created over the past 7+ years, pour into them to help them become good teachers so that they can go out into the world and teach that. And this is a way that my business can grow and we can impact more people. Next, I need to be more grateful. And an action-oriented step for being more grateful, I am committed to writing at least 100 thank you notes and sending them, putting them in an envelope, putting a stamp on it, and mailing them out. And I'm going to keep track of this in a Google Sheet. So write at least 100 thank you notes. This is a way for me to live my value of being thankful. Next, the value of being thoughtful. I am committed to doing what Matthew Dix, who was a previous guest on my podcast, calls homework for life 100 times. And if you didn't listen to that episode yet, homework for life is essentially at the end of the day, you document some of the highlight moments of that day. And Matthew calls this homework for life because if you are consistent and you do this on a regular basis, and he happens to do it just about every day, you find that you're able to build up stories of your life. You're able to remember them better. It actually helps him slow down time. You ever talk to someone and they're going, oh my goodness, I can't believe how fast this year went, or I can't believe how fast the years go. Homework for life helps slow that time down because you're regularly spending time reflecting, thinking about these stories, and it helps you remember all of the stories. And so at the end of the year, if I have 100 or more of these stories, I feel like I'm going to be a more thoughtful person. And then from an action-oriented standpoint that I have complete control over, I am committed to writing and selling my next book proposal or deciding to self-publish my next book. Now, this seems a little crazy because I'm recording this on December 31st, 2021. And my book, The Pursuit of Excellence, hasn't even come out yet. It comes out January 25th, 2022. However, writing books is really hard. It forces me to be reflective. It forces me to get very clear on what I believe. And it is from a work perspective, it is the hardest thing that I do. And so I think it's healthy for me to regularly be pushing my edges to the edge of my current zone of comfort and competency of like my knowledge base. And writing books is a way for me to do that. So I'm committed by the end of 2022 to either selling my next book proposal or deciding to self-publish my next book. And in order to do that, I have to have a full and complete outline, a full plan of the marketing aspect, a full plan of the general idea of how it's going to impact people and change their life. So that is it's a big one for me, but I'm committed to doing that by the end of the year. And then last, I put this on here because I thought, well, maybe if somebody listens to this or reads or watches this or reads what I've written down, maybe they can help me out. And that is, I want to land at least one dream guest on this list. And that list is Dave Matthews, Sarah Blakely, Aaron Sorkin, Chris Martin, Mike Rowe, Oprah Winfrey, Peyton Manning, Taylor Swift, Ed Sheeran, Doris Kearns Goodwin, or Michael Jordan. Maybe you're watching and you know somebody, one of those people, and maybe you'd like to do me a solid and help me out and get them on my show. I wanted to publicly put out there, which I've never done before, and say I like to land a dream guest for my podcast, The Learning Leader Show. So that's it. Those are my goals for 2022. I would love to hear your goals, whether you write them down or you record a video or you say them into a microphone for a podcast. I'd love to hear what your goals are. I'd also love to hear your philosophy for goal setting to see if you found this to be helpful, or if you think, I don't really need to set goals. I'm just going to focus on the system. I'm not going to publicly put anything out there. My mind is wide open to this. I again, oscillate back and forth on what's best, but I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what your goals are. Now, I think that's a way that maybe we can help one another achieve them if you do, in fact, set results-oriented goals. All right. Thanks so much. I'll talk with you soon.